Today is Wednesday, May the 13th, 2020, right? I was actually in the classroom today getting into all of your desks and making sure that we had everything packed up and ready for you guys to pick up next week. So everything is in a bag labeled with your name, but also I saw the yearbook. The yearbook's in there, so that's really fun to go and look and remember everything from the year. So, and it's been a crazy year, but we are finishing up strong. So what I want us to make sure that we do is for the rest of this week, really focus on getting everything turned in that you have planned to turn in for this week, but also that maybe you have missed last few weeks, that you just make sure everything's turned in and that you did all of your work and that you're caught up with me, okay? But today we're going to start in math, so let's turn to page 319 in the color pages. Remember, those are the pages that we work on together. It's 319. It's fact families. Remember, we talked about this yesterday, actually. We have been talking about fact families for a while in our class, so we understand the pattern and how they work. But this is working with fact families with, looks like 4, 13, and 14. That means that the sum is going to be either 13 and 14 or 14. And we're going to figure out some missing add-ins, okay? The directions say on page 319, write the numbers for the fact family. Complete the related facts. So it has given us the fact family, the three numbers in our fact family, which are 7, 7, and 14, okay? So we know that we are going to use only those three numbers, no other numbers. And we also know all the time that the big number, the largest number, is always going to be the sum, okay? So 7 plus 7 equals 14. There's your double, right? And we also know the pattern of a fact family is that for the subtraction sentence, we always use the big number or the sum, okay? Remember, a sum is an answer to an addition problem. So 14 minus 7 equals 7. Okay? Remember, we talked about there's no reason to write 7 plus 7 again, right? You only need to write it one time. And there's, again, no reason to write 14 minus 7 again. Usually fact families are 4 math sentences, but when you're working with doubles, only 2, okay? Because there's no reason to rewrite it. Number 2 is 6, 7, and 13. Those are our fact family numbers, okay? So we know that 13 has to be the sum because it is our largest number, right? So I automatically know without even thinking in my head 6 plus 7 equals 13, right? Now, in this situation, I don't have doubles, okay? So that means I am going to have more than 2 math sentences. So remember, I just flipped the add-ins because 7 plus 6 also equals 13. I'm just flipping the add-ins. Remember the pattern, okay? And now moving to, I didn't leave myself quite enough space, but I'm moving to the subtraction sentence, right? So 13 is my sum, minus 6 equals 7, and then 13 minus 7 equals 6, okay? So remember, the subtraction sentences in a fact family both start with the sum, the large number of your 3 that you're working with, okay? All right, let's keep going to number 3. It says we are working with the numbers 4, 9, and 13. 4, 9, and 13. I automatically know that to my addition sentences, that the sum is the big number, right? So now I just use my add-ins and I plug them in. And I just reverse them, okay, or flip them. 4 plus 9 equals 13. 9 plus 4 equals 13, both, right? Now remember, my subtraction sentences, they both begin with the sum, the big number. So 13 minus 4 equals 9, and 13 minus 9 equals 4. Look, we still are only using these three numbers in all of that work. Okay, number 4, we're moving right along together. We should be able to move through fact families fairly quickly because my class has had a lot of practice with fact families, okay? Number 4, we have 6, 8, and 14. I know that my big number I'm dealing with is going to be the sum, the answer to the addition problem. The other two smaller numbers are my add-ins. So 6 plus 8 equals 14, and 8 plus 6 equals 14, right? Just flip the add-ins, because it doesn't matter if you flip the add-ins of an addition problem, right? The answer always stays the same, as long as the add-ins stay the same. Okay, now I know for the subtraction problem that the math sentence will always start with the sum or the big number, okay? So 14 minus 6 equals 8, and 14 minus 8 equals 6. I'm going to keep it in the same pattern because I don't know that your book has anything different than what my book has. Okay, now you should understand fact families, but if you do not, or you need extra help, that is what your Zoom meetings are for. Anytime you need extra help, anytime you have extra questions, make sure to come on your Zoom meetings, okay? And get some extra help if you need it. Okay, let's keep going. Number 5, the directions say complete these sentences. Maria made 9 teddy bear bookmarks. She needs 13 bookmarks for her friends. How many more does Maria need to make? Okay, so she has 9. She needs 13. Oh, look at here. Okay, so this is how we're gonna figure out what this missing add-end is, right? Or how many actually she needs more to make 13. Now, we can look at this and go, oh, well, there's a math sentence, okay? 13 minus 9. If we had a number line, we could hop from 13 and we could hop back 9, okay? Or we could count forward, counting on from 9. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I need 4 more to get to 13. And 13 minus 9 is 4. These are fact families. This is exactly if we had this up here, and this up here. Okay, remember, addition and subtraction are opposite of each other, but you use them to check each other. So if you find the answer to 13 minus 9, then you would know that 9 plus the same answer, 4, equals 13. Okay? So she needs 4. Maria needs 4 to make the total of 13. So make sure all your boxes have answered, because we never leave a box without an answer. Ever, ever, right? We learned that. Okay, let's go to page 320. Remember, if I ever am moving too quickly, I just want to pack it all into the video. Just make sure to stop it and go back, okay? All right, page 320 at the top, it says, write the numbers for the fact family, complete the related fact. So let me move my board this way, that makes more sense. 5 8, and 13. Those are the numbers that we're going to be dealing with on this problem, okay? Now, when we go around the room and I say, okay, Sam, tell me the first math sentence, he would say 5 plus 8 equals 13. And then I would keep going and I would say, Taj, tell me the second math sentence. Taj likes these. And he would say 8 plus 5 equals 13 because all we did was flip the add-ins. These are the only numbers we're using. Okay? And then I would get to Zoe and I would say, Zoe, what's your first subtraction math sentence? And she would say 13 minus 5 equals 8. And then I would ask Brianna and she would say 13 minus 8 equals 5. And now we have covered all of our math sentences. This is just a simple patterns thing where you flip add-ins. And this is also a pattern to remember that the sum, the big number, always begins is always the beginning of the subtraction sentence. Okay? That's just two important things to remember. Patterns are a big part of this. Okay? Okay, number 2, write the related facts for the fact family. So we have 5, 9, and 14. And I am sorry if your book is kind of different from mine because I don't have the student page, so we just kind of have to work through together, okay? But as long as you understand it, that's what's important. Now, our add-ins are 5, 9, and 14. So automatically I know my sum is going to be 14. I could go ahead and plug that number in, right? And now I use my add-ins, 5 plus 9, and then I flip them, 9 plus 5. Okay? And then I would ask Kenyatta, and he would tell me that the first subtraction sentence is 14 minus 5 equals 9, right? And then I would ask Blaze, and Blaze would tell me 14 minus 9 equals 5. Check your answers, okay? Make sure that you understand fact families well. All right? Let's keep going, and let's look. Draw candles to picture the story. Complete the sentence. Ginger put 5 candles on Caleb's birthday cake. She needs 13 candles on the cake. How many candles does Ginger need? Okay, so we got like this little teddy bear cake, right? And okay, so we have 5 candles. This does not look like a teddy bear, but it's gonna work. We have 5 already. It wants us to add more till we get to 14. So I'm gonna go to this side and I'm gonna count on. I have 5, now I need to start at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, okay? And now I can do this several ways. Remember, there's a lot of ways to find the answer. But now I can go up here and count how many extra candles I added. I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? There would be another way that I could do that, right? I could also say, what is 13 minus 5? And then I could even get on my number line, and I could 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, okay? I could make myself a number line. You can too, right? And I could start at 13, and I could jump back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I landed on the 8. These two match. So Ginger needs 8 more candles. Okay? All right, the time to review. That's expanded form. You know exactly what you're doing, but I will work with number 4 with you. 28 equals how many 10s and how many 1s, right? So I know I have 2 in my 10s place. I have to add the 0. Or it's just a 2, not a 20. Big difference, right? Would you rather have 2 pieces of gum or 20? And I can't forget the 8 all by itself all the time. So 20 plus 8 more equals 28. Okay? Don't ever let it trick you just because it's the 28, the sum is written on this side. It's the same exact thing as looking like this. Okay? Okay, you can go ahead and pause the video, finish the next 3 on your own, and then come back ready for science. Okay? We are going to go to science page 193. Okay, at the top, science page 193, we are looking together. Use my plate to choose healthful foods. So, we have, I wonder what your plate looks like. Okay, so we're talking about the different types of foods that you should try to make sure that you're mixing into your diet and that you're eating often and that it's a regular habit to eat these types of food because they're very good for you. This is a chapter in class we like to talk about food in class. So this is something that I get to learn more about my students. So I'm a little bit sad about it right now because I get to really learn about who likes this fruit and who likes that fruit. But let's just go from here, okay? So I'm looking at my plate and I notice I need about that amount serving size of fruit, right? Which is actually a little less than it looks like vegetables. The amount of vegetables, that looks like you need a little bit larger serving of that, right, than fruit. Grains, which is some type of bread, some type of, rice, things like that. That would go in the grains. And then the protein, purple, that's probably about the same as the fruit, it looks like, maybe. Your meats, things like that. And then over here, dairy, maybe yogurt, maybe. We've talked about the food groups before, okay? But, so what you need to make sure is that you have a balanced meal, which means I have enough of this and enough of this and enough of the 5 food groups so that your body's being able to get all the nutrients and all the healthy things that it needs, okay? So at the bottom it says you should choose food from these groups. So there again, we've got the first one. There's our protein, chicken, fish, eggs, things like that. Oh, my pictures are so tiny. I don't know what that is. Maybe beans. Is it a bowl of beans? Maybe. And then the second group, it looks like vegetables. I see carrots. Can't really make out the other things, but you see it much larger than I do. But that's your vegetable group, right? And then the next group, I definitely see some grapes. So I know that's the fruit group, right? Fruit's a good snack too, just during the day. You know, you get a little bit hungry and you, instead of going and grabbing that bag of chips, you maybe could go grab some grapes. And let me just tell you this, try freezing some grapes. That makes for a good little treat. I freeze grapes at home. Okay, there's your grain group. That's the 4th one. That's crackers, breads, things like that. And then, of course, you've got your dairy group with your milks and cheese and different things, okay? So we want to really work on balancing, which means having an even amount of good, healthy things that you're putting into your body, right? Okay, let's move to page 184 together. Use the food guide plate to grow strong. Label the food groups. Draw a food for each group. This is kind of fun to do in class, but that's okay. So label on the line. Do you see where the line is? Label it the same as the page before. Okay, so the first part, or whether you see the first line, that would be fruits, just like on the page before. The one below it that's green, you would write vegetables on that line on page 194 to match the green section on page 193. And then on the other side, the top right would be grains. You'd write that on that line. And then the purple, like below, will match the page before, protein. Okay? And don't forget, over on the milk, there's a line, write dairy. Okay? If you need to know how to spell those words, they're spelt on the page we just looked at. okay? So if ever, just like a word bank, you have the words in front of you, then you need to make sure that you're spelling it correctly. If you're trying and you're doing your best, that's completely different. But if you have them, then you need to make sure that you are correctly spelling them, okay? And then on that plate, it wants you to draw a food for each group, whichever you like, your choice, okay? Your own fruit that you want to draw there, your own vegetables, your own part of the grains, your own protein, your own, well, dairy looks like a glass of milk, right? So go ahead and do that and finish that page. Make yourself a healthy meal. Maybe you could copy it sometime this week and have that meal actually. That would be pretty fun, right? Okay, at the bottom it says circle the more healthful meal. I wonder, right? So the first one has, excuse me, I don't know where that came from. Okay, the first one has, it looks like salmon. That's what it looks like, a piece of fish. Some of you may like that. That is my favorite fish for sure. And I don't eat a ton of fish, but I do like that one. And they have a side of vegetables. Looks like maybe some cauliflower, some broccoli, maybe that kind of stuff. And then the other meal looks like a hamburger and french fries and maybe a soda, a Coke of some sort, right? So I think you know which one is the healthier meal. So go ahead and circle. Circle the one that you think is the healthier meal. Go ahead and do that. Okay. So, hopefully you circled the one with the fish and the vegetables. That's going to be the best meal for your body. Okay? So go ahead and do that. Alright, let's put our science books away. Let's look at our Bible verse together. It is Psalms 27:1a. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? That, again, just like I told you before, just makes me feel really strong inside because it makes me think, you know what? I have the best. I have the strongest Lord. I have the mightiest God. And that is what I'm relying on, and that is what I have faith in and I believe in. So why should I fear anything, right? I have the greatest being in my heart, right by my side, planning my life with me. So what shall I fear, right? So that's a really awesome verse to me. I love that verse. Okay, let's do a couple of charts together. We're going to do 12 first. Ready? A says and asleep. AL says all and also. BE says be and because. EN says and enjoy. UN says and unbutton. Notice all prefixes. Letters that you add to the beginning of a root word to change the meaning of the word. A prefix is the opposite of a suffix, which is, remember, what you add to the end of a root word. Okay? So if un wasn't there and that was just button, and we added an S to the end, then that would change it from one button to more than one buttons. Right? That would be a suffix. We know that. WR says roar and wrinkle. OULD says ud and could. AIR says air and hair. U says and push. OUGH says and enough. OU says and country. ARR says air and carry. IRE says ire and fire. Okay, let's keep going. Let's do 13 together. FUL says full and beautiful. ARE says air and care. TAIN says 10 and mountain. URE says you're and pure. TURE says ture and pasture. WAR says war and warm. TION says shun and nation. SION says shun and missionary. S-I-O-N says Jean in television. E-I-G-H says A in 8. O-R says or in sailor. A-R says R in dollar. Y says I in crystal. E-R-R says air in cherry. Okay, make sure you're doing your charts with me, and honestly, it's a good idea to do them twice, just to rewind the video and do them a couple of times, right? Because they show up on your phonics test. They will be on there every single time. Okay, let's talk about something as a reminder when you're working in your language and in your letters and sounds. If a vowel is a part of a special sound, remember you don't mark it. That's an important thing to always remember, okay? If a vowel is a part of a special sound, EA, okay? EA has 3 special sounds. You would not mark those vowels, right? You circle those 2 vowels together, right? That is important to remember as you're working through your language and sounds and language and letters and sounds. All right, guys, today you have your reading comprehension to turn in to me. Please remember, last week was much better. You must color your evidence on those that you have to color red, blue, and green. I have to see up in the passage red, blue, and green. They will be in order. They're not trying to trick you. It's not to trick you, okay? The answers, I should see red first, I should see blue, and then I should see green from capital letter to period, the whole entire complete answer. And then I'm looking for, when I'm grading, which takes me a really long time, so please do your best, but when I'm looking for your answer, I'm looking for a complete answer, and you know what that means. That means I have a capital letter and I have a period, okay? Watch those capital letters in the beginning. Make sure lowercase t is not what you write, that you write an uppercase capital T if it's the or the, whatever the. So make sure to do that, okay? Please recognize that I am looking at every little detail like that because that's what's important at this point in first grade, all right? You have, okay, that's the only thing I needed to talk about that's on your list of work to do. You're familiar with everything. I've already looked over all of everything that you'll be doing today. You don't need a lot of help, maybe with a direction, but that's it. Okay, you should know what you're doing. All right, let's bow our heads and pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for our blessings. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for being with us, helping us wrap up the school year. Thank you for just keeping us calm and just letting us know that we don't have to be fearful and we don't have to worry. I can't wait for us to see each other, Lord. Please just protect each one of my kids and their families. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Love you.